Hello and welcome to week 4 of Vlogmas in July. I'm Gaz and this is my channel Eridani Hinton. For Vlogmas in July, I'm working on two projects. One is an advent calendar and the other is a cal, a crochet along. The advent calendar is the 2024 festive calendar kit by Vegan Yarn. It's 24 15-gram skeins of their Alberio fingering base, and that is 51% cotton and 49% bamboo. The box that it comes in comes with a stand, and anyone who's not using subtitles, this is the spelling of the base there, Alberio. There's not too many of these kits left last time I checked, so if you're after this specific colorway, I would suggest getting in sooner rather than later. The project I'm working up is the Dragon Belly Shawl by Johanna Lindahl, and this is where I'm up to so far. This is all previous days worked in, so this is all 21 colors so far worked in. I think you can see, if I hold it up a bit closer, you can see why it's called the Dragon Belly. You can see there it resembles scales on the dragon's belly. So anyone that's seen the movie Dragonheart, Sean Connery at the end of the movie, he lifts up his belly scales. It's a bit of a sad scene, but I think maybe that's where the inspiration for the name for this shawl come from. It's a very easy shawl. It's a 2-row repeat, 1 row of filet crochet and 1 row of solid DC. So it's TV crochet really. The second project is Joycal 2025 by Siona Roberts at Hooked on Crochet Club. Siona's made this cal by taking 6 of her previous washcloth patterns and adapting them slightly so they match a certain size, and then they can be joined. In the cal, you receive 6 square patterns, a join and a border. I'm making mine by doing 5 of each of the 6 squares for a total of 30 squares, and I'm making that in Garn Manufactor Lola Classic Bubble Box. This was a bubble box that Siona designed by using her Hooked on Crochet Club logo colors. So they're the colors that are behind me here. You can also see square 1 and 2 behind me. If you're interested in seeing them a bit closer up, you can check out the cal or the previous video. Now on to opening the advent calendar for today. So we're on day 22, and that is going to be Royal Purple, I'm going to call this one. Another stunning color by Heidi. They've done an amazing job of dyeing and curating all of these colors. So I'm going to go ball this up, or cake this up rather, and work it into the Dragon Belly shawl, and I'll be back later for final check-in. And just like that, I'm back. So this is day 22, all worked in now. This is that great purple color. I'm going to grab the teal from the Garn Manufactor Lola and go work on my recipe for square 3 of Joycal. I'll see you tomorrow. Good evening. It's July 23 and today was my 40th birthday. I'm quite tired. It's been a big day, brilliant day, but a long day. So I'm just going to open the advent calendar and hit the sack. So yeah, I won't do any crochet tonight. So day 23, here we go. There we go. That's a brilliant purple. It's a little bit lighter than yesterday's color. Every time I open one of these boxes, I'm wowed by what Heidi's able to do. So, like I said, I'm not going to do any crochet tonight, so I'll open tomorrow's box, the last box of the advent calendar, and then I'll work the last 2 into the shawl, and I'll be back for progress. Good morning. It's the 24th day of Vlogmas in July, and that means it's the last day of the advent calendar. It's been awesome watching the colors as I open the boxes each day, and then watching them watching the rainbow progress as I work them up into the shawl. So it's a little bit of a bittersweet moment. It's been great watching them, but that means there's no more after today. So let's open day 24. And that's a brilliant pinky purpley color. So I think that I've got enough time to cake this hank here and yesterday's hank, and then it's time to head to work. But speaking of cake, I've got some in the fridge. So brekkie this morning will be cake and coffee. So that'll be fun. I'll be back for final check-in. I'm not sure what progress I'm going to get tonight. I'll try and work both, but it takes about maybe an hour and a half to work each. So we'll see what happens tonight. But either way, I'll be back for final check-in. See you then. Good evening. I finished working both days into the shawl, so that means the crochet part of this project is done. So I'll show you what that looks like. And it is brilliant. So you can see what I mean about this last color, why I wanted to turn that into tassels. This brilliant fuchsia kind of color. I could even still, there is a tiny bit of yarn left. I did want to make 3 tassels, 1 for each corner, but I think I might only have enough for 1. So I'm not sure, but I think I might actually find a scrappy pattern, because I have some other like 5 gram or something little balls left over from a previous project. So that's me done for the night. I'm in my PJs already. I think I'm going to come back tomorrow now that the advent calendar is finished and talk about my knitting journey and what's next. Mainly because what's next is going to be finishing up a knitting whip. So I'll talk to you then. Good evening. There's been a bit of a time jump between the last check-in and today's check-in, and also a road trip, as you can see by my surroundings. Today is actually, it's the end of the day of July 26th, Saturday, and I'm in Yeppoon for the Yeppoon Running Festival. There's another marathon. So I have my travel project with me, and I'm going to show you that one. So this is Liliana by Hooked on Sunshine, and this one is worked in another gun manufacturer, Lola. This one, I'm not sure of the English translation of the name, and I can't pronounce the German, so I'm not even going to try. But this is this is Liliana. So it starts off with this circle, and then you square it, and then it jumps into all these cool patterns. And the way you finish these patterns is the end of every pattern has a back post, half double crochet, and then a row of single. And then that makes those bands that differentiate the patterns. So I've just finished the last row, that single crochet row on this V-stitch kind of netting. So I'm just about to start the next. And this, as with most Lola, they've got 10 colorways. So this is halfway through the 5th colorway. So it's going to be quite big when it's done. That's how big it is so far. So it's quite a big, sort of a big baby blanket, I guess. But yeah, it's actually, what is it? So it's about a meter by a meter, roughly. So this project I carry with me whenever I'm on the road, whether that's for work or for leisure. Before I left home, I put the dragon belly shawl on the blocking mats and turned the fan up as high as it would go. So by the time I get home, that one will be dry and I'll be able to jump back on and show you. So I'm going to go wind down, put some music on nice and quiet, work on Liliana for a little bit more, and then it's time for bed. Wake up nice and early in time for a race, 5 hours around 3 loops of Yeppoon, and then a 3-4 hour drive home. So I'll see you tomorrow night. Good evening. It's the 27th of July. It's the end of the night on Sunday. I'm back home from the marathon at Yeppoon. I've never cracked the 5 hour mark before, and this year I got 5:07, so it's about 50 minutes worse off than last year's marathon. They have changed the course. So from 3 meters total elevation to 450 meters total elevation. So it's a little bit of a different course. Plus, I'm undertrained, severely undertrained. So I was just glad to get it done, really. Glad to be able to finish. So I have my medal. Because I finished, I get a medal. So that's it there. That's a wrecked ship, which is one of the tourist attractions at Yeppoon. And my bib. There's me, Gazman. So I got all the spectators yelling at me, "Go Gazman!" So, like I promised a couple days ago, I wanted to talk about my journey with knitting. So, my first experience with knitting was maybe like 2017, I think, um, and that was with the Book Lovers wrap. I don't remember exactly who the designer is, but I'll link it below. And so I bought some needles and I started this wrap, and I got maybe I got past one pattern repeat, and I just sort of thought knitting maybe isn't for me. A machine can do it quicker, better looking, um, all the rest. So I was like, maybe knitting's not for me. And then I tried again. There's actually a gun manufacturer, Lola. They design knitting sets, so the pattern plus the yarn, and some of those they design they design them in such a way that if your tension's right, then the yarn will change color in exactly where they want it to change color. And so this yarn here was supposed to be a knitting pattern, and it was going to be a garden. So the grass, the leaves, and then the petals, and same sort of thing. I got it was a shawl. What's that called? Like a semicircle shawl. So it starts from the center out. I got maybe 150, 200 mil out from the center, and it was looking the way it was supposed to, but I just wasn't liking how long it was taking to work up. I didn't really like the process, so I just gave knitting up for a fair while until Stephen West Amcal in, I think it was 2022, maybe. You'll have to forgive me if I'm wrong, but that was the Geo Gradient. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. So prior to that, I had bought a box of, like a surprise box of Garn Manufacturer yarns. So I'll show you them in a second, but I got up to, where are we? I think this is maybe clue 3 of the Geo Gradient. I started mine in December that year, so that was after all the whatever went down with the center pattern. So because I knew crochet, I decided to go with the crochet granny square center, and obviously just changing colors each time, each row. Sorry, and then yeah, so I'm up to these little floaty guys. Oh, sorry, your cord's in the way. I'm up to these little floaty guys, so I'm not very far into it. I think I've only done one repeat, A, B, C, D, or whatever the pattern is. And then I don't know what happened, but something just clicked in my mind when I started this thing. My garter stitches look like garter stitches, and all my eyelets, they all look really good. And these little float guys, they're really fun to work. So yeah, so I sort of fell in love with knitting. And then, so I got to this point here. I think I put it down because I worked on this during the Christmas break that year. And then I put it down when I went back to work the following year. I get the 2 weeks off usually. So in January, I put it down, didn't pick it up again. And then, so that was, 22, I think it was that year, the Geo Gradient year. And then I was on holidays about 4 months ago, and a mate told me he wanted a hat. And he's a mad Chelsea Football Club fan, so instantly I knew what I was going to make him. Whether it was crochet or knitting, I didn't know, but I knew I was going to make him a hat that had the Chelsea logo, or was inspired at least by Chelsea Football Club. So I jumped straight on Ravelry, found, well, the first thing that came up was a beanie that has a couple of the logo elements. So there's the flower, the lion, and the football. So they've extrapolated that out of the logo and made them quite big on the hat. I don't have it here. I've gifted it already, but I'll link the Ravelry photos for that one. But that I think I just took the one weekend for that, and that was never done color work before. The biggest floats I've ever done was the Geo Gradient, and this thing has got quite long floats in it. I did try catching a few. I didn't like the way it looked, so I didn't worry about it. But yes, even though it was color work, and it's obviously you have to have your tension quite good, quite consistent, I suppose is the right word. Even though like that, I was able to get quite a good looking product. There was a couple little pulls, but I just blocked it quite tightly over a mixing bowl. Actually, I had to some of my quilt batting. I had to wrap that over a mixing bowl, put a plastic bag so it didn't get wet, and then block the hat on that. That was a bit of a weird setup. And then I put it on top of my clothes horse. Yeah, it was quite strange, but it worked. So, and he loves it. His daughter tried stealing it off him actually not too long ago when she was up, but he didn't let her take it. And then Chelsea won. So there you go. I think maybe I helped, maybe. So my plan for showing these knitting projects or talking about these knitting projects is because in October in theory, should be MCAL again, Stephen West MCAL. Yeah, October, yeah, I think I said that. So I'm hoping that I'll get GeoGradient finished before October. That's the big idea anyway. So we'll see how we go. Whenever I work on it, I'll show progress here. I'm not sure yet what the format's going to be after Vlogtober finishes. Tomorrow is the last day of Vlogtober, or at least for me. So I might try weekly, I might try fortnightly, but I'm thinking just the one sort of a bigger catch-up where I'll just show everything I've worked on during the week. Yeah, so if I ever touch GeoGradient between now and October, then I'll show you that one and my progress on it. As for the yarns that I've made it out of, that Garn Manufactor surprise box or mystery box, whatever you want to call it, the 4 I've chosen, these were this was pretty well as I was going plant-based, maybe, yeah, a little bit before. So these are mostly wools, but my color A is Creativo, which is a sock yarn, typical sock yarn, 75% superwash and 25% nylon. My next is called Jojo. Oops, I'm getting myself tangled. My next is called Jojo, and that is 80% superwash and 20% nylon. And that's a stranded yarn, typical to most of Garn Manufacturer's stranded yarns. So this one is a 4-strand. And obviously it changes colors, typical to, well, pretty well all of Garn Manufacturer's yarns. So yes, that one there, Jojo, it's actually very, very lightweight. So if you're looking for a lace project, a lace shawl or anything like that, this is Jojo's the one. It makes the finest fabric. My next one is recycled merino. So this is another stranded yarn. I think this one's 4 strands. And this is, what are we doing? We're doing 70% wool, 20% nylon, and 5%. I'm not sure what the German is, but yeah, I'm not even going to try pronouncing that. I might just link it in the description below. But so this is recycled merino with a little bit of poly in it. And the last one is Rebobble, and that's recycled cotton, and again a stranded yarn, and again color changing. That's one feature of Garn Manufacturer that I really like, is that it changes the color for you. So there's no tying ends. I have 2 ends to sew usually. At 300 gram ball is about 1 kilometer of yarn, maybe 1125 meters, and in that there's 2 ends to sew. It's amazing, and you get the best projects. Well, like this pie shawl. This was actually 6 strands, 6 ply. So yeah, so on this, as good as it looks, 2 ends to sew. That's it. So I really like that about Garn Manufacturer yarns. So I think that's pretty much it for tonight. I'm going to go get some veggies in me, go get some iron and protein. So I'll be back tomorrow. I think I might just have the one check-in tomorrow, now that we're not doing the Advent opening. I do have the dragon belly. It's dry now, so I might spend tonight, or part of tonight anyway, before I go to bed, just sewing in ends. And I'll show you that tomorrow. I'll finish that tomorrow. I'll make sure, just so that we're wrapping up Vlogmas in July with a finished project. All right, I'll see you then. Good evening. It's July 28th and the 28th day of Vlogmas in July. And that means that today is the last day of Vlogmas in July for me. I finished the Dragon Belly shawl, so that was the project that I really wanted to keep on top of. So I'm really glad that I got to stay on top of each day, and then a couple days worth of blocking and tying in ends. Well, with some distractions in the middle anyway. So I've got that to show you, and then I've had a little bit of a think about format going forward until Vlogtober. I think I'm going to try keeping with the weekly videos, but just with the one check-in, maybe on the Sunday, Monday, something like that. I might do a couple check-ins during the week if there's something special happens, but on the Sunday or Monday, I'll do a bit of a filming session, show you anything I've been working on, anything I buy, if there's anything. There shouldn't be too much more coming up, but if I do, I'll show those. And then on Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock-ish, I'll publish those to YouTube. That's 8 o'clock in Queensland time, so we don't have daylight savings or anything, so we're pretty well in front of everyone. We're pretty well in front of the world, except for, I think, New Zealand is a couple hours in front of us. So on to the Advent shawl. So it's all blocked, all the ends are tied in, and it grew it grew a fair bit because of that filet crochet. I think that row. I suppose too, when you're doing back post, it's gonna grow because you've how do you call it? I suppose it's shrunk up before you block it. So I'll see. I'm not sure if I can show you all these colors close up, but I'll give it a go. So sort of in backwards order from day 24 until day 1. And here we go. I really love these neons. They're my favorite. Although in saying that, I really do like the last 2 days. That the purple and then this fuchsia. I do really like them, especially with that. Well, the last 4 days all work together, but yeah, this fuchsia makes it. I think. I don't. I was going to potentially make tassels. I was going to maybe pull out this last row and make a tassel with that, but yeah, I don't think I will. I'm going to keep it like that because I like to finish on this filet crochet row for my dragon bellies. So that's it. So that was Vlogmas in July. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope you stick around for what's between now and Vlogtober when we do Stephen West MCAL. Thanks again, and see you then.